Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Islamic or Sharia law, session number 19. It's about protection of property. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Protection of property. To eat up one another's property unlawfully is a crime. As said in Ayah 2-188, do not eat up your property among yourselves unlawfully, has been ordained by Allah. As regards the property of orphans, it has been said emphatically not to eat it up in a wrong way. As said in Ayah 4-6, also in Ayah 17-34, in Ayah 6-153. And provide proper nurturing to the orphans and keep monitoring as to how far their potentialities are developing until they reach the age of marriage or maturity. As said in Ayah 6-153 and 17-34 and 40-67. If then you find maturity or intellect in them, release their property to them. But if they are not yet mature, do not consume it wastefully, nor in a haste against their growing up. As far as the protection of their property and the compensation for their upbringing is concerned, if the guardian is well off, let him claim no remuneration. But if he is indigent, let him take what is just and reasonable. When you release their property to them, take witnesses to the transfer. And while accounting for it, keep it in mind that you are presenting the account to Allah, who knows what is hidden as well as manifest. The way the religious leaders eat up the property of the people is also a crime. As said in 9-34, O you who believe, there are indeed many among the priests and monks who in falsehood devour the substance of men and hinder them from the way of Allah. Because if people started following the divine law, their leadership would come to an end. As a matter of fact, those except the disabled who eat up others' property without putting in labor eat it up wrongly. The priests and monks are on the top of such lists. They do not earn their livelihood by putting in labor, but lead their life on what others earn. Next to the priestly class on the list are the capitalists, who on the basis of their wealth usurp the outcome of others' labor. This is the first part of verse 9-34. The priestly class is mentioned, and in the later part, the capitalists are mentioned. If you ponder over it deeply, the priestcraft is the worst form of capitalism, because a capitalist, after all, spends something in order to increase the capital, his capital. But the priests eat up others' property without spending a penny. And thus, the Holy Quran has ordained that it is an unlawful method of earning livelihood. Do not obtain decision in your favor by means of bribery. The first part of the verse 2-188 has been described earlier. The complete verse is as follows. Ayah 2-188 says, and do not eat up your property amongst yourselves wrongfully, nor use it as a bait for the judges. If the case lies with the court with intent that you may eat up wrongfully a part of what rightfully belongs to others, you know what results it would produce. Keep your measures and weights proper and just. Thus, it has been said as a matter of principle in Ayah 6-152, also in Ayah 17-35 and 7-85. Give mayors and weights with full justice. This has been explained further by saying in Ayah 83-1 to 3, the result of wrongful business mindedness and capitalist mentality can be nothing but destruction. People of such attitude, when they are on the receiving end, take by full maya, but when they have to give to others, they give short of weight. They take full work from the workers, but pay them less and themselves earn more. They not only deal with the property in this manner, their mentality remains the same even in evaluating humans in order to keep their potentialities suppressed so that their full growth is restrained and only allowed to develop so far as it is beneficial for the capitalist's interests. They do not permit them any more freedom. Easy money. The term is commonly used for gambling, but it is a comprehensive term which includes all means of earning easy money. According to the Holy Quran, the loss inherent in such earning is more than the gain. As said in Ayah 2-219, O Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they ask thee about khamr, psychoactive substance which put them in an altered state of mind, and maisir, that acquiring easy money. Tell them that the long-term adverse effects of both are far more than their temporary and short-term benefits. As said in Ayah 5-90 and 91, O you who believe, intoxicants and gambling dedication to stones and the divination by arrows, which have been described in Ayah 2-219 and 5-3, are abominations of Satan's handiwork, which suppress human faculties of intellect and vision. Eschew such abominations so that they do not become an obstacle in the way of your success. If you become accustomed to such habits as wine and gambling in order to satisfy your baser passions, in addition to its bringing about your personal debility, it shall cause enmity and hatred amongst you, and hinder you from the establishment of the system of Salat. Will you not then abstain after such a lucid explanation? The Holy Quran has not ordained the punishment of intoxicants and gambling, but it has been left for the Islamic State to determine them according to its own circumstances. Raffle and lottery. This is also included in easy money. The word divination by arrows in Ayah 5-90 and 5-3 means lottery. Theft. The punishment for stealing is amputation of hands, whether the thief is a man or a woman. As said in Ayah 5-38, thief, may it be a male or a female, are both equally guilty. There is no discrimination in their punishment. However, a way would be devised in which the thieves themselves abstain from stealing, and which also becomes an obstacle in the way of violating the divine law. It means that it serves as a curative for the offender and as a preventive for other. But if you find that matter has reached the extreme and the thefts have become rampant, the extreme punishment can be to cut off the thief's hand. Anyhow, the aim is to check the crime, either by force or by planning. These are both included in the words. But the following has also been said along with the above, Ayah 5-39. As the objective is to check the crime, thus, if the thief is repent. If the thief repents after his crime and assures to mend his conduct, a provision has been made in the divine law to protect such a person from punishment and deprivation from the common privileges of life. These words not only mean amputation of hands, it also means, number one, to inflict wounds on the hands, as you find in the story of Joseph in ayah 13-31, or number two, to cause obstruction in some working, as for example, cutting the tongue, means to check for unnecessary talk. Even in 5-38, it has been called that is an obstruction caused by Allah Himself. Note, the last note under the heading murder also applies to the case of theft. That is, it shall be the responsibility of the government to make good the loss by theft. Loan. The dealings of giving or taking loan ought to be reduced to writing. The Holy Quran has provided guidance about the nature of writing and the way it should be written. However, it is not required to put hand to hand transaction over the counter transactions into writing. A. It should be written by a scribe. Loanee or his guardian should dictate. There should be two male witnesses. If two males are not available, then one male and two females. The scribe or witnesses should not be harmed in any way. All these details are given in ayah 2-282, which has been explained earlier. The loanee ought to be provided facility for the payment of loan. And if he is so poor that he is unable to pay back the loan, he ought to be excused for it. The relevant verse 2-280 shall appear under the heading Usuri. Mortgage. In case the loan transaction is made during the journey and no scribe is available to writing, a pledge with possession of some article that belongs to the loanee is allowed. But in case the loanee is a reliable person, writing is not necessary. Thus, it is said in ayah 2-283, if you are on a journey and cannot find a scribe, a pledge with possession may serve the purpose. But if trust exists between the parties, pledge is not necessary. In case when neither the transaction has been reduced to writing nor a pledge has been taken, then the loanee should honestly and faithfully return the loan and thus exhibit his submission in the divine law. Ladies and gentlemen, here I would like to end this session, and we will continue on this session, inshallah, during the next video. Let's very repentfully and remorsefully pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us that wisdom and that kind of an intention to learn Holy Quran, Islamic law, and Sharia law in its true sense, and gives us courage and strength to apply it upon us, our families, our societies, countries, and world as a whole in complete and 100%. Please pray from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well that He be our best guide and protector and bestows upon us what is best suited for us. Ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourself, your nears and dears, your kith and kins, and your environment as a whole. And inshallah, till next session, Allah Hafiz.